I specifically moved my camera angle so that I could sit on the floor and do this tag so that Doyle could be in here, and then he fell asleep just out of camera shot. Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Brianna. This is Coffee, Books, and Bullet Journals. I'm doing the mid-year freakout tag. This is the third year that I have done this, and I do not recommend that you go back and watch the old ones. At least not 2018. That was a cringeworthy video. Just leave it in the archives. Last year's you can go watch. I'll link it up there. So this is kind of like the staple tag video on BookTube. Everyone does it in June, July. I got as close to the mid-year point as I possibly could, but I'm pre-filming a whole bunch of videos over the next week or so. But anyways, without further ado, you know what this video is, you know what this tag is, you've seen everybody doing it. Let's just talk about some books. So as of filming this video today, I have finished 59 books, which is pretty good. My goal is 100 for the year, and hitting more than 50 at the halfway point means I'm ahead of schedule. Simple math. Unfortunately, as I was thinking it through, I don't have a ton of books that I'm loving. I mean, well, let me rephrase that. I have a couple that I love, but there's not a ton of them. Like, I can think of probably 5 or 6 books that are like, oh yeah, these are gonna make up my top books of the year. Which I guess is okay, because if I look at last year's, I think that a lot of them happened in the second half of the year, so it's probably okay. The first question is the best book that you've read so far in 2020. You know what this is, because if you've been on my channel for any longer than one video. If this is your first video, welcome. You may not know the answer to this question. If you have been around for any other length of time, the book would be Take a Hint, Danny Brown by Talia Hibbert. This is definitely my favorite book. I have no doubt that this will end up on my top books of the year. This is a book about a PhD student, so she's teaching at a university. She is a bisexual woman, and she starts this fake dating relationship with a security guard at her college after a picture of them of him saving her goes viral. It's adorable. The representation in this is amazing, not only for bisexuality, but also mental health rep, PTSD, depression, anxiety, all that stuff. I am in love with this book, but you already knew that. The second question is the best sequel that you've read in 2020. Now I'm trying as hard as I can not to repeat books. It's gonna happen once or twice probably. Technically, Take a Hint, Danny Brown is a sequel, but as I was looking through, I haven't read a ton of sequels this year, but the one that stuck out to me I read back in January, and that was Thunderhead by Neil Shusterman. This book was so good, guys. I mean, it was political, it had some mystery and suspense, it was amazing at world building, and I just really, really love the characters and the world of these books. The next question is a new release that you haven't read yet. I do have a couple. They are both Book of the Month picks, so don't fault me for that, but they were older books. So the first one is You Are Not Alone by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. I really, really liked An Anonymous Girl, and I read that last year, and I've heard really good things about this book, and a lot of people that are that have read it, that read a lot of thrillers, really, really liked this one. So intrigued to pick it up. I haven't really sat down and read a lot of reviews or even like watched reading vlogs of it, other than just seeing like people posting that they gave it 4 and 5 stars. Just because with these two authors, you really don't want to know what's going on with their book, and so I don't want to know anything about it. The second one is actually kind of definitely an outlier, but that is The Kingdom of Back by Marie Lu. This is actually historical fiction, which is weird. Like, I don't read historical fiction, but I'm really excited about this one because it's about the sister of Mozart. And that's just intriguing. I like alternative stories, things that like are history, but are not history as we know it. Another one that I guess would work too is up there, so I'm not going to get it, but The Book of Longings by Sue Monk Kidd. There we go. That's another one that's kind of this alternative history where it's talking, the book is from the perspective of a woman who is Jesus's wife, which is not historical or not historically accurate, but a feminist woman in biblical times. Another book that I'm really excited to pick up. Oh, hi Doyle. Hello, welcome to the video. Puppy. Hello. Would you like to go back to sleep? Cool, I guess he's done with that. Okay, the next question is a book that comes out in the second half of the year. I don't know the exact wording of it because I don't have it. But a book that comes out in the second half of the year that I'm really excited about. I have a few. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab I'm definitely excited about. I wasn't initially, but I keep seeing good things about it from like early reviews, and they're from people that like I trust their opinions. I have very similar opinions on books, and so I feel like we will, like, if they're enjoying it, then I'll enjoy it. So I'm now excited about it. Plus the UK cover came out and it is beautiful. Tessa Bailey has her third book in the Fixer Up series. I DNF'd the second one, but I think that was more of a personal thing, so I'm excited to pick this one up. It's Tools of Engagement. It comes out in September. Frederick Bachman has a new book coming out. It's called Anxious People, and that one comes out in September as well, so really excited about that one. And then Where Dreams Descend by Janella Angelis, I think was supposed to originally come out in May and it got pushed back to August. So that one's kind of a Phantom of the Opera meets Moulin Rouge meets Night Circus. So like, I'm here for that. The Library of the Unwritten has a sequel coming out called The Archive of the Forgotten that comes out in October. And Naomi Novik has a book coming out in September, end of September, called A Deadly Education, which is kind of like an adult Harry Potter, but if you fail, you die. So, I'm here for that. There's a few anticipated releases. I actually, when I was kind of looking at this tag and trying to figure out what my answers were going to be, I was like, you know what? I don't know if I have any that I'm really excited about. And then I was like, oh, well, yeah, I am. Yes, I am. The next book, I said we were going to talk about this in a minute. Biggest disappointment of 2020 so far easily is The Toll by Neil Shusterman. Absolutely love Scythe and Thunderhead. Like, those are 2 5-star books. Absolutely loved them. And then this one just kind of went off the rails. And I don't know what happened. This is just 600 pages of a hot mess, essentially. I didn't know, like, we didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know where we were going. It was a hot mess. I think I give this book like 1.5, 2 stars. Will probably end up on my worst books of 2020. To this date, probably the worst book I have read all year. But I think it was not so much that, like, because a lot of people really like this book. Like, some people gave it 4 stars. Like, people that I trust and have similar opinions to. But I think I just had such high expectations going into this book because of the high that I was at with Thunderhead, and I read them basically back to back, that I was just... I'm pretty sure this is the book that put me in, like, a 2-month reading slump prior to COVID happening, or like intermingling with COVID happening. So the next question, the flip side of that, is the biggest surprise, and I have 2 of those. One of them is a new author to me, and one of them is an author that I had only had mediocre expectations. We'll talk about that one first, and that's Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. I just recently read this. I talked about it in my mid-month wrap-up. Elizabeth's books I think her last two I gave like 3 and 3.5 stars. I mean, they were good. They were fine. But they were nothing spectacular. And this book is the only book that has made me cry this year. It was just so moving. And this is another one that's in verse, similar to The Poet X. And it just had so much power, but it was subtle at the same time. And this is just, she hit the nail on the head with this book. And then the new author that like, I mean, it's a surprise to me because everyone else kind of has mediocre expectations of this author. So Crescent City, A House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. This is the first book that I've read by Sarah J. Maas. I now own the entire ACOTAR series and will read them eventually. But this was really good. I gave it 5 stars. It's nothing that I'm gonna like write home about. I'm not gonna like, it's not a favorite book of all time, but I thoroughly enjoyed myself. And while there's some people, like, I think that if you have read the Throne of Glass? Is that it? I don't know. I'm having a brain fart. Or ACOTAR. Yes. From what I hear, she writes a lot of the same regurgitated stories and characters. But as a first time, like, coming into her works, I thoroughly enjoyed it. The next question is a new favorite author, whether that be a debut author or just a new to me author. For a debut author, I'm gonna go with Kate Elizabeth Russell. My Dark Vanessa was another one of my favorite books that I've read so far this year. Very dark, very hard hitting. Now I'm second guessing whether or not it was a debut, but I'm pretty sure it was. But this is a very, very dark story. But it's very psychological, which is something that I really, really enjoy. And I will definitely pick up anything else that she reads or writes in the future. And then a new to me author, I'm gonna have to go with Talia Hibbert. I think she said that Take a Hint, Dating Bren was her 15th book, so like I have a lot to go back and catch up on. But I love her books with my whole heart. The next question is your favorite fictional crush. And I don't really have one other than, I mean, again, recycling words, but I love Dani and I love Saf. I just love both of them. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much the only person that, like, I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of. I don't know if it's that I am just too old for that now or what it is, but I mean, other than these two characters, I don't necessarily have a new fictional crush. All right, and then the next question is your favorite character, and I have a couple of those. I really, really love Finian from Aurora Rising and Aurora Burning, but also I really like Zila. She definitely has a much bigger presence in this book than she did in the first one, so really enjoyed her character. She's very down to earth, very take no shit type of person. And then I also really like Morris and Janelle in The Sound of Stars, I don't know why I always said the. Both of the main characters in this are really, really good. The next question is a book that made you cry. I already talked about that this is the only book that has made me cry this year. And it wasn't even like a bawling like a baby, it was just a few tears. I am clearly a robot when I read. I will cry at movies and TV shows and things like that, and I've even been known to like shed a tear with like very emotional and moving music. But not a book. I can't do it. I don't know why. So I guess this is the closest to that. Alright, and the next question is a book that made you happy, and I'm going to go with Tweet Cute by Emma Lord. This book was just adorably precious and cheesy. These two characters are sweet, sweet cinnamon rolls. But it was just funny. Like, there was a lot of humor in it, but it wasn't, like, over-the-top ridiculous. But, like, these characters are named Pepper and Jack, and their parents own a grilled cheese factory or grilled cheese restaurant. And the whole thing is a grilled cheese, like, they're fighting over a grilled cheese recipe. And their names are Pepper and Jack. And that's funny. So yeah, I mean, it was a good, like, this was like so fluffy and so just very innocent. There wasn't a ton of like plot, and it was a little convenient, but it was a good time and it made me happy. The next question is the most beautiful book that you have received this year, and I have two, and I'm recycling both of these, but The Sound of Stars is an absolutely beautiful cover. I mean, it is just stunning. The colors, it's breathtaking. And then the other one is Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo, specifically for the naked cover that is just beautiful. I didn't even know that the naked cover looked like that until I got my package, and then I took it off and looked at it, and I was like, oh, so beautiful. And the final question is, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? And that's the weirdest question ever, and I always stumble on this because, I mean, all of them. Like, I have so many projects going in my head that, like, I need to read books for. I have arcs that I need to read, and I have, like, a few secret projects that I need to work on. But as far as books that, like, either have sequels coming out, or like I want to like catch up on the series. So the ACOTAR series has a new book coming out, I think in January of 2021. So I would like to read that whole series by then, or read the first one and realize that I don't want to read them. However, I bought the whole series, so I probably should go ahead and just read them. And then, like I talked about, the Library of the Unwritten has a second book coming out in October, and I keep putting this book on a TBR and I just keep not reading it, and I don't know why. This book has pansexual representation and you never see that, so I don't know why I haven't picked it up. Everyone is saying it's amazing. I just need to just up and read it, and I don't know why I haven't. I've actually even started it. I think I got like 40 pages into it a few months ago, and then that's when my slump hit, and it just didn't continue. I didn't continue reading it. So yeah, those are some of the books that I do like definitely want to read, but I don't know, I have like literally like a rolling list of books for this secret project that I want to do, and there's so many books on there that are just, I mean, it's just daunting. Is that the word I'm looking for? I don't know. So that is the mid-year freakout tag. I'm not going to officially tag anybody just because a lot of people have already done this, but of course, we're technically not even to the midway point of the year. We still have a week or so for that. Couple days anyways, and then you could always do this in July too. So if you would like to do this and you haven't done it yet, consider yourself tagged and let me know if you completed this challenge or this tag. And if you don't have a channel or a blog or a way to do this tag, let me know down in the comments below what your favorite book that you have read so far this year is. Actually, let me know anyways, regardless. That's all I've got for you today. If you are new here and you have not yet subscribed, there's a little red button that you can do so down below the video, and all of the other links to my social media will be in the description below if you would like to be my friend on any other platform. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. What makes this heart beat faster?